Hello and welcome to another edition of Applied History. We're here on 20 Orange Street and I'm joined by Nate Sylvia. Hi Nate. Today we're going to go over the most traditional method of preparing a house for painting, which is scraping and sanding. We want to pay attention to the details. We want to learn all the tricks of the trade. A couple questions to start us off.
Sure.
I'm curious about what kind of wood this is.
This most likely is cedar.
Okay.
90% of all the clapboards
Yeah.
historically are either pine or cedar.
Okay.
Pine was used prior to cedar.
Okay.
Then cedar came out probably turn of the century.
Okay. And what kind of paint are we dealing with taking off here?
So we're probably dealing with maybe a layer of lead, probably a few layers of oil.
Okay.
And then the last couple top coats, oil is no longer sold
Yeah.
for exterior
Yeah.
residential use. So you probably have a layer or two of latex on here.
So we might be taking off one of the layers you painted on 20 years ago.
Probably, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, the lighter layer.
Yep, just like in real estate, as in painting, referrals are the highest form of compliments, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, we always love coming back to the house
Yeah.
that we've done years
So-
ago.
And the fact that it was 20 years ago is a testament to your
20
work
plus,
as well.
yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
All right, so this is a prime candidate for regular scraping.
Typical.
Yeah, this is what you're gonna do. So how do we do a simple thing the right way? What are we using for a tool to start with?
So we have our carbide scraper,
Yep.
and of course we have our 5-way,
Yeah,
just as another scraping tool. Again, because of lead, we would have a lead setup. We would have a mask,
yeah.
goggles,
Always treating it as if it was lead,
assuming it's lead.
just to be
Yep,
safe.
yep.
Okay. So walk us through how you would approach this section and tell us what's going on in your head.
Not everyone has the time or the energy to strip a house, obviously.
Right, with
other-
chemicals or
right.
infrared and
So we just scrape it. You always want to start scraping, finding your joints. Paint always lets loose on the joints. So your undercuts, your side cuts. You have a nice sharp carbide scraper. Again, you can file them sharper if you need, and you want nice even pressure, 2 hands on. And just work it. Once you have an edge, you can tool it to have that edge. Keep scraping away.
going with the grain,
Going with the grain always.
finding the corner.
Yeah, so
Where-
I really got that edge
Yeah,
into the uppercut.
Yep.
The undercut now. You're just working it across. Obviously, when you get to the side cut, you're going to have to go down.
but
Again, I'm using just the edge.
as little
to
as
kinda
possible.
dig into
Would
there.
you use a different tool for that?
You could use your 5-way. You could get in there with the pokey side of it and drag it down. You see it's releasing some of the old caulking. And then just kind of work it up there.
Yeah.
And that's going to come out.
Now I see you were pulling left. Does it matter if you pull right to left?
The old tried and true, top to bottom, left to
Okay.
inside to out is how every painter should work. And it's
Okay.
just kind of method that you use.
And explain that, is that just to be methodical?
Just to be methodical so
Okay.
things aren't missed, and just to, when you do a house this size, it's like, where do I start?
Sure.
Start the top left corner, work right, left to top to bottom.
But if you were jammed up in a corner here, it wouldn't be hurting the wood if you went right to left.
No, I'm
Okay.
stronger this way.
Sure.
Yeah, you'll get tired. You'll be out this 8 hours a day, and you'll start to go the other way, and you might get a lip that's loose the other direction. So it's always good to keep going back and forth. But if you really work the tool, you can get a lot of paint off. And again, not every bit needs to come off.
That was my next question.
You don't want to force it off. We have a good candidate here where it's all coming off.
Yeah, you get
Just got
that
lucky.
Renaissance touch.
Or you have a extremely well-trained painter.
So that is my question though, is at what point do you know that it's ready to be painted?
For us, we try to get as much off as possible.
Yeah.
For a lot of people,
Not so much.
you get to the point where you can't do anymore.
But if, let's say for example, if this was on there really good,
You could work it. You could get it off if you had all day.
yeah, but you don't, at that point
you
you could
don't
accept, it would be
need to.
acceptable. Okay.
If you're using a bonding primer, your primer is going to bond to all surfaces.
Okay.
So it's going to encapsulate this.
Okay.
Again, you can pick it something until it's completely clean, but If you're doing it yourself and you're not hiring someone, how much time and effort do you want to put into it?
Yeah.
Sometimes stuff up high doesn't get the same treatment as things at high level and front
Yeah.
doors.
Yeah.
Just the nature of the business.
Makes sense.
But that comes out pretty good. After you're done with that, your handy sandpaper, just to take out any scarring.
So for the side, for paneling, for broad strokes, scraping and sanding is probably the way to go.
Yep, nice
However,
heavy grit paper.
it would be tough to get the molding down to
Right.
this
Exactly.
with a
Exactly.
scraper.
Mostly just speaking of this molding in particular, it's on there pretty. You're not going to need to take it all off.
Yep.
It doesn't. You don't want to force it.
Yep.
Only where you really need it to look brand new, like that front door.
If you can see the cracking, if you can see, you want to take what you can.
Yeah, you see a loose edge.
Yep.
Get your tip of that in there and just
Yep.
get right at it.
So we learned that the edges are where the paint gunks up. You want to target those areas.
Yep. Start with your undercuts and get right in there.
Yep.
Get your side cuts.
Careful on the vertical scraping.
Yeah, get that loose caulking out of there.
Yep. And you're almost scraping the vertical board more so when you're coming down this way.
Right. This is where most paint peels on a house, that little tiny triangle.
Yeah.
So you really got to get just that point of it in there.
Cool.
And just
Awesome.
get down.
There you go.
Pretty simple. Just have to be organized.
Yep.
Left to
Work
right,
methodically.
left to front.
Yeah. Be thorough. Take what it'll give you. And if you get it down to a place where, you know, it's the only thing that's left is paint that's really well bonded, and you're using a good primer, you can leave it like this and it's still no problem.
And a good oil primer should be sanded afterwards anyway. You get some of these hairs that once you prime over it, just like in the auto industry, they prime a car, then they sand it, then they prime it. Same thing, these hairs are going to get nice and brittle. And
So-
a couple swipes will knock them right down.
What he's saying is stay tuned next time when we do the application and we can see how we do
When
that.
the fun really begins.
That's when we
Right.
get to have fun. This was a 150 grit?
This was a 150.
Okay. So it's a finer finished
Yeah,
grit.
it's like in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I think that's anything else we missed on this?
Not on this episode.
If you have more questions, never hesitate. DM me. We'll get back to you. I'll get you in touch with
I
Nate.
love talking shop.
Yeah, he's been talking paint all day. We're having a good time here. Tune in next time on Applied History where we will be putting paint back on. So you have that to look forward to. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.